Okay, I'm back. So we're getting ready. We just finished our actions, actually. I keep thinking that we're getting ready to do actions, but we just finished our actions. That was the very last action for Mr. McGlenn there to do that research action. I've never played this scenario before, so I don't know what happens when we get that last Doom token over there. That's going to flip the other card. But I honestly believe we were supposed to find these 3 clues an awful long time ago. And that we're at a spot of the game that's much later than it should be. And the situation is dire. We now get to the monster phase. And I do have... Agnes was able to evade hers. So this one is just going to re-engage, but doesn't do damage. However, over here where the leader is, we have the Creeping Ghoul... which I believe she disengaged. No, she didn't. So Creeping Ghoul is going to do 2 damage in 1, and then the Masked Hunter is going to do 2 damage in 1. So we're going to get 4 damage and 1 and 2 mental. So this is bad. She does have Anita or Lita with her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her 2 damage and 2 mental. So she's basically 1 away from death in both. But I have to, because I have 3 mental already. The mental's not as big of a deal. So we'll give her the 1 more mental. That's fine. She's got 4 out of 7. The 5 health, though, is an issue. And so she's still going to take 2 more health damage. So the leader is hurting. Not dead, per se, but hurting. And... otherwise, we're fine. Now, this hunter over here is going after McGlenn, and he's going to go 1... So he has to go basically 2 spaces. So he's either going to go through these guys or around, and I'm going to just assume he's going to go through them and finish there. He moves towards and engages the investigator with the most clues. Actually, McGlenn no longer has any clues, so that actually changes things. So he's not going after McGlenn anymore. So he's going to go after either Dexter Drake or Rex Murphy. So we're going to just say it's Rex. And so, because I think we get to choose in a tie. So we're going to go after Rex because they're both the closest. So this happens, and 1 damage and 2. So Rex is going to take 1 damage and 2 mental health as well, which is not good. He's pretty damaged as well. And then Dexter Drake has somebody on him. And this is going to be 2 health and 2 mental damage. So he's going to take... He'll put 1 on his cane and 1 on him. And 1 on his cane and 1 on him. So he's got some damage. So we basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monsters out here. Amazingly enough, McGlenn's not one of them. And that ends the monster phase. But now we go to the encounter phase, and it's ridiculous. But 1, 2, 3, 4 of our characters are not going to get to do any encounters. The only one that's going to get to do them is McGlenn and Ashcan. So we'll start with McGlenn first. He's at South Church because he needs to heal badly. So we're going to South Side here, and South Church. There's another funeral tonight with donation box for the family. You may spend $1 to recover 3 sanity. He's doing that in a heartbeat. And that 3 sanity is now, he's back to full health. At least from a sanity perspective. And that was what really mattered. I mean, yeah, he has 3 other health damage, but the sanity was the big issue. And you meet a suspicious woman in the crowd. She slips out when she sees you. Spawn the set-aside Alma Hill monster at the Historical Society. Oh, this is the thing. I didn't even realize that. It has the 17. So Alma Hill monster spawns, and now he's got a monster engaged with him. So this is Alma Hill, and that's the monster. I'm going to just put that right on his money. And she's pretty nasty. She's got 3 health. She's elusive. Alma does not engage investigators. So technically speaking, she doesn't engage anybody. So I'm going to just put her on his space. And then what I'll do is I'll put the token on her just to show that she's the thing that we're trying to get. So he could engage her when it's his turn later. And then Ashcan's going to go, and he's in Easttown. And he got his numbered one too. So he's at the police station. You share your findings with Sheriff Engel, and so we got to do the negotiation. And Ashcan stinks in the negotiation. He only has a 2. So we're going to just roll 2 dice, and we get nothing. Okay, if you pass, he offers some off-the-books help. You gain a common item. Whether you pass or not, one particular cop was listening intently. Spawn the set-aside Billy Cooper monster at the police station and return this card to the archive. So Billy Cooper is now out. It says if you defeat another monster while engaged with Billy, he is also defeated. So he's a lurker that places a doom at the station. So it says if you defeat another monster while engaged to Billy. So Billy, I'm going to let him go engaged with our leader, Marie. Because if Marie can defeat any of the 2 other monsters she's engaged with, she gets to automatically defeat him. Getting Billy Cooper on Ashcan may not be as good of an option. Although thinking about this a little bit more, maybe Ashcan should engage some of these off of Marie and then kill Billy Cooper that way. But we're going to just see how this plays out. Let's see how this goes. Okay, that's it for our encounters. We are playing awful. So the last 2 that were in the cup is Newspaper and Doom, and I'm giving those to Agnes, and then I'm just going to randomly take 2 and put them in the cup. And moving on, we're going to have another monster. And a Doom. And then this. Sorry. And then this. And then this. So, starting with Agnes, the first one. You suffer 2 damage and 2 horror unless you place 1 doom in your space. Agnes has no problem placing a doom in her space, so she will do that. The next one is a doom, which I'm just drawing it off camera, is at the general store or the graveyard. There's 2 unstable spots. So I'm going to say the graveyard, because the general store would have been bad news for us. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next 2. The first one was a blank. Second one's a monster. And it says spawn at street nearest prey, and it's going to engage the lowest will. I'm just looking at lowest will here. And it looks like it might be Dexter Drake or Marie. And since we're tied, we're going to pick Dexter Drake. So he's connected to 2 streets here. And we'll go ahead and put it on that one. There's monsters everywhere. This is the crazy part of a 6-player game. Okay, so we're going to get a Doom. And it goes to Ma's boarding house, which now has 3. A monster and a headline. Monster first. Spawn at the unstable space, which is Ma's boarding house, and he's a lurker. Okay, and then the headline. Add this card to the codex and discard. Actually, I'm very happy with that because the other one gave us all 2 horror if we failed to check. But let's see what bad thing this one does. You can spend a clue to discard this card, otherwise place a doom on this card. If there's ever 3 doom on this card, resolve a gate burst mythos effect. Okay? Well, that's okay, because that means it's at least 3 more rounds before that would happen. So I'm okay with that. And then we have a clue and then a gate burst. So the clue is easy. That one's in Rivertown. There's a ton of clues in this game. We haven't drawn any of them. Well, I mean, we drew 3, of course, but that's it. There's a whole bunch. And then the gate burst is in Uptown. So Uptown, sorry, I'm trying to do all this with one hand. Uptown is going to get 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're not done. It keeps going. So this one causes a doom to go on that card, that rumor or the headline card, and then this one causes that to trigger. And then another doom comes out. And this doom is going in Hangman's Hill, which is in Uptown. Hangman's Hill gets 4, right? So 1, 2, and then another one's going to go on this scenario card, but I'm going to set it off to the side because that other thing triggered immediately. I'm just finishing all my steps so I don't forget them, but I'm setting that doom on the side because we got to resolve whatever happened immediately, and then that extra doom, we'll figure out where that goes next. So when there are 8 or more doom on this scenario sheet, flip this card. If card 10 is still in the codex, flip that card before continuing. I don't think card 10 is in the codex. Well, I think we were supposed to return this. And return this card to the card 10 was the one that put those people out. Remember we got Lita Chandler? So maybe we wouldn't have gotten Lita Chandler if this was done first. So by getting the 3 clues, we got Lita Chandler. That's pretty cool. Okay, so card 10 was not there, so we don't have to worry about that. And just bear with me, I'm just returning card 10 to the archive. Okay. Shadows gather around Hangman's Hill, a deep and unaccountable darkness that sends people and animals fleeing for their homes. The shadows form a shape that is too dark to resolve or too fluid or too awful to contemplate. Umordoth is come. Take card 19, the Umordoth epic monster, and spawn it on Hangman's Hill. Add card 18 to the codex and return this to the archive. Ooh. I'll tell you what, if you do this scenario, you need to pick the Fighty McFightersons. Don't pick the squishy guys. So we need card 19 and I think it said 18. Yes. All right, so that's done. Okay, 19 is a massive hunter. He just moves towards the nearest investigator, but he only moves 1 space. So that's good enough. 8 plus 4 additional health per investigator. Oh my gosh. -2 and -1. He's massive. He attacks each investigator in its space. It cannot be exhausted. So the evasion thing is just so you can run away. As you attack Umordoth, you may spend any number of clues from the scenario sheet to deal that much additional damage. Ooh, so having extra clues is helpful. And he just does 3 health and... oh my gosh. This thing is just a monstrous thing. I guess if you would have somehow defeated those things before you got the 8... like if we would have defeated all those other cards, maybe we could have prevented this, but wow. So this goes on Hangman's Hill. All right, so he's 1 space away from 2 of our guys. And then we got this card. The reason for the mysterious disappearances stands revealed as the shapeless enormity of Umordoth stalks Arkham. Everywhere it goes, it consumes corpses, worshippers, livestock, townsfolk. The devourer below makes no distinction. It eats everything and everyone in its path. Yet some intelligence guides its movement as it draws it inexorably closer to you. You can feel its hunger clawing at your mind, twin to a hatred more intense. Sorry, I had something in my eye there. Hatred more intense than merely mortal. Umordoth hungers, but it is your flesh. In particular, it craves. The Umordoth epic monster's health is reduced by 2 for each marker on the scenario sheet. after the Umar epic monster is defeated, flip card 12. When there is 15 or more Doom on this scenario sheet, flip this card. Okay, so I received no instruction that said to remove Doom. So I'm assuming that those 8 Dooms stay there, and then this just becomes a 9th, and then at 15 something bad happens. Now when it said put markers on this card, it says his health is reduced by 2 for each marker on the scenario sheet. I think it's because these other creatures, these cult, after he's defeated, return that worshiper to the game box and place 1 marker on the scenario sheet. So that's what I mean. Is the monster itself is going to go on the scenario sheet, and that reduces his health by 2, which is good. And I'm just realizing that there were 2 monsters we spawned. So where's the other one? It was the police guy. Okay. So I just wanted to put this on the policeman so we don't screw that up. Okay, well, we survived. Getting clues is going to help us because you can just use clues as raw damage against this thing. And so it'd be really nice if you had like 6 clues. You could just like, throw them at him like darts. But we have no clues on any of our guys, and we are just bombarded with monsters. So first thing I want to do is we're going to start with Maria here, and her situation is grim, but she does have Lita Chandler with her, and we're going to attack this creeping ghoul. It only needs 1 more damage to be dead, and so it does have a -1, so she gets 2 strength, 4, 6, so she's going to get to roll 5 dice. So coming back around, here's 3 of her dice, and there's 1 hit. With just those 3. We don't need to roll anymore. So we killed this creeping ghoul, okay? When we do damage, according to the ally here, and I just have so many cards with tokens on it, so I apologize. I'm trying to get it all in place here. After you or another investigator deals damage to a monster in your space, Lita Chandler deals 1 damage to that monster. So unfortunately, I probably should have attacked the masked hunter. So Lita would have done another damage to this monster, but she didn't. But the creeping ghoul is dead. We get the remnant for it. And then the bigger thing is Billy Cooper automatically dies. So we automatically get this on the scenario sheet. So I'm just going to put the question mark there on to the right. And so Billy Cooper is already out. So that was why I did it, is I get to basically get 2 for 1. It was 2 for 1 deal at Walmart. So, at Kmart. So, anyways, that was her action. And yes, she's going to give that to somebody else. Somebody else is going to get an attack action along with her. And that somebody else is going to be Ashcan Pete. So what he's going to do is he's going to take this masked hunter away from her so she doesn't die. And then Ashcan Pete will also attack. And we do need 8 damage, but he has 3. And then 4 for Duke. And then 5 more for the shotgun. So it's 9, and 6s count as 2s. So if there's anybody who can do it, Ashcan can. Yes, that was intended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 7 dice. And that one's stuck, so I'll re-roll that one. Here's a 6 for 2 and a 5 for 1. So that was 7, or I'm sorry, that was 6 because one of them got stuck. And then 7, 8, 9. We're going to roll all those dice still. And I just am rolling awful. Now I have the Ace of Rods. It says when you spend a focus to reroll a die, you can reroll any number. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend the Will focus. And I'm going to reroll all the dice that didn't hit. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm rolling 7 dice again, because that's how many missed. And this is much, much better. Oh, that was a hit. 5, 5, and 5. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage to this thing. That is finally how this game is supposed to go. 4, 5, 6 damage. Still not enough to kill it, but we finally got it bleeding. All right, now her turn is over. Nothing else she can do. She has a lot of damage on her. Her turn is not over, in fact. That was her first action. So she has a lot of mental health damage, so we're going to move her to Hibbs Roadhouse to recover that mental health damage. Okay, thinking who should go next. Ashcan Pete probably should go next. One of the things that okay, so I moved her. I should have gone first with Ashcan and did the attack or whatever, because what I wanted to do was do the focus thing, or the thing where he gets the money and gets the free stuff and focus, because that focus helps him, and he could help Marie focus as well. And Marie needs an attack focus, for example. So he could move to Marie's space, but he can't move anymore because he's got this monster on him. He can't attack the monster. So the next best thing is he can try to evade it. The monster does have a -0 to its evade. And so what he's going to do is he's going to focus first. So we will grab another observation. And so it'll allow him to roll 4 dice. And there's the succeed right there. So what he did was he successfully got the monster to disengage. Now, that gives him another action. So his other action is he could move. He doesn't mind re-engaging this thing. I think what he's going to do is he'll just... if he scrounges, that doesn't help either. Oh, you know what? Since he's free to do something, he's just going to do a ward. So we'll do 4. And there's 2 right there. So he's going to get rid of 2 of these and get a remnant. So Ashcan finally has a remnant. All right, so his turn is over. And I'm realizing I need to... Okay, so let's keep thinking about monsters here. We have Rex Murphy. He's got one on him. But he's in the same space as Dexter, who also has one on him. And Dexter and Rex are both right next to Umordoth, who's going to move and engage them. This is bad. This is very bad. So we can't move. These guys can't move unless they evade. And this one's evade is a -2. So that Abyssal Servant is there to ruin him. And then this one here is actually 1 hit point away. So we're going to start with Dexter. He's 1 hit point away. His strength is only 2. So unfortunately, that stinks. But let's see if we can get 1 damage with him. And there it is. So he got 1 damage, and he kills this corpse taker, which was just amazingly tough. And he gets a remnant for it. And, okay. So he could stay there, but it doesn't do him any good to stay there. He needs to get out of dodge. He's not super damaged, but he needs to get away from Umordoth. And so there are 2 clues. There's so much to do in that space. But we need to just get out of there. So I think what he's going to do is just run 2 spaces over here to where McGlenn is. And that's his entire action. I mean, there's nothing else he can do. He could heal. He could have stayed and healed Rex, but he's not going to. I think Rex is going to die. All right, so now we move to Rex. Rex has this Abyssal Servant on him, and the Abyssal Servant takes 1 die away from him from attacks. So Rex only gets to roll 1 die against a 4 hit point monster. So what he's going to try to do is evade. So there's 4 dice. 3, 4. He gets to do 5 dice, but then it's a -2, so he gets to do 3 dice. So let's see if Rex succeeds. He does not. And I'm just looking to see if he has any. Once per round while resolving a test, you may re-roll 1 or all dice. So he's going to do that. That's his item he gets at the start of the game. And there it is. He needed a 6 and he got it. Oh my gosh. Now that was a good roll. Okay, so Rex is going to disengage this Abyssal Servant. And so we're going to flip that back over and put it here. The Abyssal Servant does hunt and engage the investigator with the most clues. That's fine. Rex, nobody actually minds fighting this thing. It's the Umurdoth getting away from him. So Rex is going to move 2 over like this. And I'm really struggling with figuring out what Rex is good at in this game. He's not good at anything. This 6th thing, I don't like this character, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The fact that he has all these focus tokens is not helping him that much. So he does get another action. And what he's going to do is he's going to engage this Alma Hill to attack it. And then McGlenn might just turn around and engage him as well. So anyways, Rex is going to go ahead and engage this Alma Hill. And, okay, so it's 3 hit points. And Rex only gets to draw 2. So we're going to roll 2. And they both fail. So then he gets a free focus. So what hasn't he focused yet? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he hasn't focused his strength. That's what we probably should have been doing for a long time now. All right, so his strength is stronger. And that's it. You know what he should have done instead of that was he should have healed one of his mental damage. I didn't even think about that. I'm sorry. That was a bad move on my part, folks. But I'm done with him. Okay, so now we go to McGlenn. So McGlenn's just going to pull this straight from Rex. And we're going to just attack that. And it's 4, 5, 9 dice. 1, 2, here's 5 of them. And you can see we did 2 hits. We need 1 more. So I'm just going to move these down, and then here's 4 more dice. And we didn't get it. I'm going to spend my focus token to roll. Oh my gosh. Rex is just having a bad game. For your Chicago typewriter, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Okay, Alma Hill doesn't engage anybody. And so I'm going to just put her back here. But she does have 2 damage on her. And I think she's a lurker, so yes. So she's got 2 damage, and nobody killed her. McGlenn did attack once. Wasn't successful. And I think what he's going to do is, since he has 3 damage on him, he's going to move 1 more over, and the Ghoul Acolyte is going to engage him. And there's nothing he can do about it, but he's going to just take the Ghoul Acolyte on for himself, and his turn's over. The Magician's turn is over. The only one left is Agnes. And Agnes is going to move over and try to finish off Alma Hill. So Agnes is she going to cast a spell? The answer is yes, she will. Well, hold on. Agnes can't do that at all. Agnes has her own monster on her. She's got this masked one monster on her. And yeah, she's going to take a damage so she can roll 5, 6, 7 lore dice. She's going to attack this thing. So here is 4, 5 dice. All right, 2 damage. She only needed to do 1. So the masked ones has been defeated. I think I was supposed to be putting Doom in my space, so my apologies there. I've been missing that. This monster deck is brutal. And I do get one more action, so I could, you know, focus. I could do other stuff. I think because of the damage I have, I want to mentally heal or physically heal. I think I'm just going to move 1 space to join them, and that's all I could do. Okay, all my actions are done, so now we go to the monster phase. So going through the monsters, this Alma Hill is a lurker, so she makes you draw 2 tokens from the Mythos Cup. The leader does. So those 2 tokens from the Mythos Cup are coming out now, and it is a clue and a blank, so that actually helped us. But it means that all of our tokens are going back in the cup now. And a clue goes in Uptown. All right, while I'm doing this, I'm looking to see if we're engaged. McGlenn is engaged to a Ghoul Acolyte. So 1 damage and 1 mental goes on to McGlenn. McGlenn is up to 4 health damage and 1 mental. Okay, and then Ashcan had 1 engaged, but it was what do you call it? After it was evaded, it was exhausted. So all it did was unexhaust and then it engaged Ashcan Pete. And then we have other ones here. This guy moves towards the lowest will, which is the Magician. So he's going to move 2 to there. And then this one moves toward engages Investigator with the most clues, which is nobody. So I'm going to assume it's going to then go after whoever's closest. So he's going to come in and then engage. I guess we get to choose. So we'll choose that he engages the Magician. Yeah, he'll engage the Magician for 2 mental and 1 regular damage. If I would have known this was such an attacky tack, you know, full of all kinds of attacks and monsters, there's no way I would have picked the non-damaging spell for Dexter Drake. But anyways, Umordoth is going to move 1 space. He's actually this side right now. So he's going to move 1 space towards the closest investigators. And I think that's it. So now we get to actually doing the encounters. So Dexter Drake has somebody on him, so I'm flipping his token. He doesn't get to do an encounter. The Ghoul Acolyte is on McGlenn, so he doesn't get to do one. Ashcan Pete has 1 on him. And this one isn't engaged with anybody because it's a lurker. Well, I think it says it's elusive. On this side it says elusive. So that's the reason why. The lurker is not the reason, the elusive is. So everybody else is going to get to do one. So I'm going to just start with Agnes. She's here in the south side. And we're going to draw a token for Agnes here. And she's at not the Historical Society or the boarding house. So that means she's at South Church. Father Michael tells you of a dream he had about a great darkness that lies beneath Arkham. You gain one clue from the neighborhood, so that part's good. she gets the clue. You can see that the priest's faith has been shaken, and a kind gesture on your part would help him feel better. You may spend $1 for you or an ally to recover 3 sanity. Well, we definitely want to spend $1, and that's exactly what she has. It's just $1. And she has 3 sanity damage on herself, so she'll recover all 3. Her dog will just have to wait. So her turn's over. And I'm going to go to Marie. Marie is all the way up at Nibs Roadhouse on the East Town. So let's grab an East Town card. People don't usually come here to read, but customers are welcome to read by the fire. You may spend $1 to get something to eat and drink. If you do, the simple human goodness of great expectations briefly restores your faith in humanity. You or an ally recovers 3 sanity. She's definitely spending $1. I think that's why she went there. And she and an ally get to recover 3 sanity. She has a ton of sanity on her. Lisa Chandler has some tons of sanity damage, but she's going to just recover 3 for herself, and Lisa will have to wait. Moving on. Rex Murphy is next, and he is in Southside. Father Michael asks you to contribute towards a dinner provided for the poor and homeless. You may spend $1 to pay for groceries. If you do, spend an evening serving food and sharing a pleasant meal with Arkham's less fortunate. You or an ally recovers 3 sanity. He has the money, and he also has 3 sanity he needs to heal. So that was very big for him. So a lot of healing being done. But this Umordoth is not good news. So, Rex is done. Flip him. And that's it. So now we go to the Mythos Cup. And even more crap is going to spawn and more things are going to happen. I just don't see us winning this. I really don't. Okay, so the first 2. Next 2. Next 2. Next 2. Next 2. And the last 2. Okay, starting with Agnes. 1 doom, 1 clue. So the doom is going on Southside, Ma's boarding house. Okay, so as you can see, there's 4. So then we pick up 3, and 1's going to go to each other location, and then 1 goes on the scenario sheet. So we're up to 10 now. Then the clue is going into Rivertown. So Rivertown's getting a 3rd clue on top of all the other stuff it already has. We're just so overwhelmed with monsters that those 8 hit point monsters are just devastating. And so our guys are just frozen. We can't move around and resolve the stuff we need to do. Okay, that's that. Then we had 2 blanks. And then we have another blank and a newspaper, which, by the way, the newspaper deck is almost empty. Test will, you suffer 3 damage. Prevent 1 damage for each success you rolled. So this one is, of course, Dexter, which only has 2 will. And he rolled 0, so he's going to suffer 3 damage. Not 3 horror, it says 3 damage. So usually it's horror. But he's going to suffer 3 damage and he dies. Yeah. He's going to suffer 3 damage. He has 2. And he's going to die. And I honestly never had a character die in this game before. So I think I was told, you're dead. Nothing you can do. And you just roll a new character. So what I'm going to do is I'll just play with one less character because that makes the video go faster. And I don't see any value in rolling a new one at this point. So this Abyssal Servant is just going to go on his location, and everything else is just done. I think his items drop, but it's just spells. So I'll just turn the spells over and put them there. And yeah, Dexter Drake failed miserably. All right, so one less character to worry about. We keep going. We get another headline and a doom. I'm going to do the doom real quick. It's going into Rivertown at the general store or graveyard. And we're going to do the graveyard. And the headline says, you suffer 1 horror for each monster in your neighborhood. This is Rex Murphy that has 2 monsters in his neighborhood, so he's going to suffer 2 horror. Good thing he just healed 3, huh? Okay, and then we get another doom and monster. The doom is going into East Town at the police station. And there it goes. We are out of doom tokens. Completely out. That's, I don't even know what the rule is for that. Okay, the other one was, spawn a monster. Another one of those 8 hit pointers is going to doom us. It's a vicious glutton. He spawns at the unstable space, which is the police station. And that means he's going to engage Ashcan. All right, moving on. We go to Ashcan, who's going to get a Gate Burst and a Reckoning. Well, the Reckoning is easy. Another token is going to go, and I'm just going to start using Remnants to count as tokens. And it's going to happen at downtown, the area that we've had to ignore. But here's what's funny is downtown has no doom on it. And it had no doom like the entire game. It's like a really crazy scenario. But there it is. Downtown finally has some. And we are now moved to the action phase. So we have one less character. And still a lot of monsters. I'm just trying to pay attention. One less character means that this monster that's engaged to Ashcan would actually now be dead. So I'm going to, well, I probably should just roll another character. I mean, I think that's what the rules say. So bear with me a second here. Let's try to find it. See rule 4444.6. I guess it's called defeated. Defeated. When you're defeated, disengage all monsters, discard all of your cards and tokens, return your investigator sheet to the box, place a doom, so we got to do that. If your investigator defeated, devoured, or retired, you must select a new investigator who will join the game at the beginning of the next action phase, which is now. And okay, so we're going to do this because if I don't, the number of hit points for monsters that are already engaged goes down and they would actually die. So another Doom goes onto the sheet, and we're up to 12 now, by the way, out of 15. I think we lose at 15. I'm pretty sure. And then, of course, I have to roll a new character. So this is an interesting dilemma because I don't know what that new character should be. We have Min Tai Pan, who actually I was thinking of taking. So, but I want somebody who's going to just kick some serious butt. Calvin Wright, we played him solo, and he actually did quite well. Wendy is just good at evading. She's not my play type. I really don't like that. Tommy Muldoon, though, is a big strength guy. If a monster would engage another investigator in space, you may engage it instead. I mean, he's got the crazy bravery. If you remove Doom, you may suffer a horror to research a clue. We don't need to research, so Norman Withers is not good. Jenny Barnes just doesn't interest me at all. If you have fewer than $3, you gain $3. Who cares? Although sometimes you have to look at their special abilities. So, for example, Tommy Muldoon looks like he'd be a toughie because he's got the cop ability. And he gets a +4 as an attack weapon. He has handcuffs, so if he's facing a human monster,